Welcome to the Warrior Razor podcast. We're your hosts, Angela
and Carrie.
We all need help and support to stay focused and challenged to courageously pursue the life God has called us to live. What we do matters.
Here on the Warrior Razor podcast, we seek Jesus first and use the skills, talents, and passions He has given us second.
Good morning, warriors. Time to start your day. Keep your head up, marching on. Don't let nothing stand in your way. Don't let nobody tear you down. You got so proudly wear your crown.
Well, welcome to the Warrior Razor podcast. It's Carrie and I in studio together.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Life is happening. Life is lifing.
Life is lifing. Our last recording was an interview. And so we decided, let's have another Girl Gab
That's
session.
right. Well, we're not at the lake.
No, we're not at the
Mm.
lake. Yeah. But we have fancy soundproofing behind us
That's
if you're
right.
watching us. But no, there's been just a lot going on in both of our personal lives and
Yeah.
ministry. And so we thought we'd just get on here and just chat about how that looks for us personally and for what that looks like for you guys in the different seasons and how the Lord just comes alongside us in the journeys of the next right steps. Because
Yeah.
we're still in the season for that.
Absolutely. And I think that God has been teaching both of us just
Mm.
some really sweet lessons on reliance on Him with our next right steps. So we're going to unpack that today.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, care to share what's been some of your biggest life lessons right now
Yeah.
in the trenches?
Sure. So I think my biggest thing right now, and I, can't go into like a bunch of detail, except that what's going on in my life right now is forcing me to remember that I don't have what it takes.
Right? Can we just be honest? We've talked about this many a times over. We laugh. We're like, we are high capacity people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even in the capacity, I think the Lord allows us to go through some stuff because He's gifted every person that's listening or watching with some skill set. But sometimes when it's beyond whatever that skill or the anointing or the gifting is, it's like, oh, wait, I cannot do this. Therefore, you must take over and take control.
Yeah. I do not have what it takes, which feels like defeatist language, like, oh, I'm horrible. But don't take it as that. It is a true confession of I am a finite human with, like you said, lots of skills and talents, but there is nothing in me that can make it through what's happening right now without filling myself with God.
Yeah.
And I've really been, on this journey of, okay, if I don't have what it takes, then what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Like, what choice am I going to make? Am I going to make the, hunker down and just keep trying, which I've done in the past in my own strength? Or am I literally going to just confess it and say, okay, so if I don't have what it takes, then I'm praying daily on my knees for the equipping of God to help me with that.
There's something it's multifaceted. I think you talked about when you talk about like digging in and like stay in the course.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Lord asks us to do that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Matthew
for sure.
7, ask, seek, knock. And from my understanding of that passage, it's like a perpetual thing. It's a continual thing. It's like, we don't give up until we see the breakthrough. But then also the second part of what you're kind of explaining is that God is sovereign. And sometimes we just have to really relinquish that control. And it is absolutely challenging, goes against every part of our being.
It really does, because I'm the type of person who I just want to solve all the problems.
Yeah.
I want to figure it out. I want to get past the uncomfortable as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And I want to be on the other side of it. And I don't want to admit that I don't have what it takes. And I don't want to admit that, that I'm feeling inadequate in an area. I want to always be poised and ready and have the answers and know what to say and do all the right things. So man, I just want to get past all this uncomfortableness as fast as I can. And every time I try to do that, I feel like he's given me one more obstacle.
Yeah.
To the point where I've literally just had to stop and say, all right,
Yeah.
hands up. You're going to equip me to get through this. You are going to figure this out. You are going to every day wake me up, get me through it, give me the words to pray, give me the things to see, give me the scripture in my face, give me the friend that calls me,
Yeah.
give me there's so many ways that he is meeting me once I finally was like, yep,
Let
okay,
me surrender.
I don't have it.
And I think even though you're not going into details or specifics, because what you do is you're
Lots of
stewarding
confidential things.
Yeah. And when you're in a pastoral position, you're caring for the tender hearts.
Yeah.
You're taking
Yes.
care of the people. And so
Yeah.
you have to be a good steward with other
Mhm.
people's stories. But regardless of whether it's happening to someone else or you're in the trench with them or it's
Mhm.
happening to you
Mhm.
personally,
Mhm.
the story of what you're going through applies to heartache, tragedy, illness, sickness. It's like, I have to surrender every day, every part of
Mhm.
this. And I don't know. There's days where I'm just like, absolutely not, God. Like, I want to be a brat about it. And I'm
Yeah.
going to get
Oh, for
offended
sure.
at people and be
Uh-huh.
mad.
Mhm.
I mean, I think,
I'm going to take things personally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and this is a real transparent moment. You guys know about my dad. Early on in the year, my dad is one of 3 siblings and he's the oldest. And if my aunts are listening, I still love you. But they wanted he was the executor of my grandmother's estate.
Mhm.
And so she lived to be 100. This past year, she turned 100. And my dad was the single executor of her estate. And so his other sisters, my aunts asked, would it be possible, Steve, my father, if we could do a partnership of the executorship? And my dad he doesn't really think much about that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Well, my mom and I were having a conversation like, oh, it's going to be so complicated. Now you got 3 people in the mix and all these 3 different opinions and how
Sure.
challenging it can be. And like, why didn't they trust you? And so the flesh gets
Mhm.
really icky and
Yeah.
nasty. And you're like,
Mhm.
what is going on here?
Yeah.
And for those of you that have followed my dad's story and the story that I've shared, he was involved in a catastrophic accident. He had a traumatic brain injury. I mean, he was hospitalized for months. And in so much that during his hospitalization on Father's Day, his mother passed away. And had they not relinquished the executorship position, and he is not, well, he's coming back to himself, but God in his sovereignty knew that he would not be capable. But when and I'm just using that as just one simple example of, man, we can get so wrapped around the axle, get so offended and think there's injustice and this, what the heck? And these people are just getting in the way, or there's an agenda.
Yeah.
And God's like, can you just let me?
Mhm.
Can you just let me write this story?
Absolutely. There are so many times recently where I sit and I think, this is not what I desire.
Yeah.
I don't desire this for a certain person, or I don't desire this for myself or for my church or for my family. Like, this is not my desire. And I want to be like really righteous in that, because like, I think what I desire is like really good, like, and like, it's very holy.
Pride comes in many forms.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I don't desire this. Why? But I'm literally, as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, okay. Okay, Carrie.
Be blinded by your halo.
Right? It's so bright. I can't see God through the shine. Yes. It's like, I'm not it.
Yeah.
I don't have the larger picture in mind, but I know a guy who does.
Yeah.
And he has been so trustworthy throughout my own life, other people's lives, that help build my faith and my trust in him, the reading scripture and being able to build my faith and trust in him. So it's just the plans that he has, in my, but what I want is good.
I know.
Is just rubbish,
So when we take it back to where we are with the next right step
Yeah.
season and kind of what it looks like to trot along in
Mhm.
this journey where it's not all like skipping through the fields of flowers and like,
No skipping.
okay.
Sleepless nights. That's what it is.
Yeah. And so you're kind of in like a tumultuous season
Mhm.
in terms of like pressing in and
Yeah.
seeking the Lord. And where I am personally, professionally within
Mhm.
my family is I'm stepping into another level of unknown in that ministry is shifting. But the Lord, I feel like, is just being really kind and gracious, and he opened the door just really organically. I mean, truly, it wasn't looking for anything. And
Mhm.
I'll be stepping into full-time employment with nonprofit 501c3 for a clinic organization that supports the uninsured or underinsured, but it's a
Amazing.
faith-based organization.
Amazing.
So it's like the Lord took my two loves,
Yeah.
my clinical
You
background
sure did.
and my love for ministry. Because even in like the midst of everything with my dad, I mean, I think I was telling you, I'd be
Mhm.
bedside with him and just saying, should I go back? Should I
Yes,
kind
you
of
were
forfeit?
God was
Yeah.
totally like working on your heart then.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later, this literally fell into your lap and you're like, oh,
I mean,
Oh.
when we launched this season, we were like talking about the verses in Isaiah and a couple other references. There's many, quite many, but we're talking about like whether you turn to the left or the right, he will not let the
Yeah.
righteous stumble
Yeah, he'll
or
keep you.
listen for the voice behind saying
Mhm.
this is the way in which you're going, walk in it.
Mhm.
And I just felt like I kept feeling this nudge, but it wasn't really, I feel like, so that's kind of like how we flesh this out.
Mhm.
We might not
Mhm.
know
That's good.
right now the
Yeah.
step in front of us, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I was wrestling with that, and I felt like I would be conflicted if I would abandon Warrior Razor, abandon the
Right.
ministry. And then the Lord's like, I got something that you can't even see right
It's
now.
amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
and it's not going to be easy because I'm literally like
Mm-mm.
going into it
Yeah.
kind of eyes wide open, palms wide open too. So I'm just
Mhm.
like, all right, Lord, again,
Mhm.
I trust that you brought me to it. I know that you'll bring
Yeah.
me through where I need to
Yeah.
be.
And equip you for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too with when you take that next right step, or if you're in something that's really hard and you're just taking small little next right steps, remembering that the equipping of God is not like a once and for all.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like, I've created you like this and I'm never giving you any more or any less.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's this level of, okay, so here's my example. I've created you with less mercy. Thanks, God.
So what?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's very true.
That should be our like. We need a t-shirt.
Yes, we do.
Mercy less.
Mercy less, sisters. Yes, it's not my spiritual gift.
I think that shouldn't be a thing we're proud of, but it's actually so true.
It's fun. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And God, and there's like some humor in it because then God is like, okay, but I'm going to give you some situations where mercy and
Ooh.
compassion is literally the number one thing you're going to need right now.
Yeah.
And so you can't like I said, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't. And so he's like, okay, so I'm going to equip you and I'm going to help you see this, number one. And then I'm going to put some things in your life and some people in your life and some things, and then he's like, and then you're going to do it. Well, hopefully obey and come out on the other side. And so I think that the equipping piece of that next right step, we have to remember that just because he's made us a certain way doesn't mean he's not going to equip us with something more when he's asking us to do something.
Well, and that's exactly it. Because I mean, we're not supposed to be like, well, this is who I am.
Right.
This is how I roll. This is my vibe. Like, no, we're supposed to be created in his image and we are supposed to be more like him.
Right.
So that means like the stuff that is all Angela or the stuff that's all Carrie or the gracelessness that I sometimes harbor against others. And like that stuff has to just been like stripped away. And that is such a painful process.
It sure is.
For me, it's like this season, it's not like I'm going through a lot of negative stuff. It's just like the full surrender of the unknown. And what's crazy is that unknown seasons, like with my dad's survival, like we literally just came out of that. And like the unknown was like, will he live? Now the unknown for me is, will I do well? Will the family be okay with? I mean, so the unknown always looks different, but the lesson in it and the steps forward are always very similar. Like you
Yeah.
said, so what does it look like when you're taking these steps in the darkness, taking these steps in the unknown? You mentioned at the top of the show, you're praying,
Yeah,
you're seeking his face.
always.
Um,
I'm talking to my inner circle,
mhm.
getting them to pray for me, and getting them on board with what's happening so they can be hearing on God's behalf for me
Yeah.
and coming to me
Yeah.
with things that they hear. I something that I've added really recently with the prayer piece is I follow very specific, I forget what the word, it's like the daily office praying.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that. It's through a book called The Divine Hours.
Okay.
And that has been like, because recently some of my prayers have been pretty wordless, and God can handle that,
Mhm.
and that's fine. But I also desire to have words to pray to him. And so it helps me just like focus in
Yeah.
and have things to actually pray through and say. And it's funny how, not funny, God is working through the pages of this book with like, yeah, that's yep, that's it. But I didn't know how to say it until I read it.
Yeah. He's so good to
yeah.
do that with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was journaling this morning actually, and I had been out in our backyard. We planted a ginkgo tree. Yeah,
Really?
they're fun. If anybody takes that supplement, you know what the supplement is for. It's for memory.
Yep.
And true story, if you get a female ginkgo, it smells like rotten fish when they drop their seed.
No
So
way.
yeah, so you always want to make sure it's a male
Yep.
cultivation.
No, the only one who would know that.
No, because I was like, I need to know what kind of
Oh my God.
if it's gonna drop trash in my yard. Do I have to like rake it up, clean it up, and also will it smell like dirty, nasty fish? Okay,
So how do you know if it's a male or female then?
it will produce seed or not. And usually for
Okay.
when you
Okay.
purchase it, they'll tell you
They'll
like
tell
this
you
is
if
a
it-
male variety or not. So anyway,
So you don't have to be surprised.
no, I'm good. Like now, if it shows up like a surprise,
You're
we're
taking it back
yeah,
to that place.
digging that sucker up, digging that chickie babe up.
Yeah. Yes.
Take her back. But I pulled off a leaf and I put it in my journal because I'm like, first of all, when I go back at the end of this year and look back through the journal of this year, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a roller coaster of emotion I have been on.
Yeah.
Like seriously, whiplash.
It's
like
been a year. Mhm.
it's been a year.
Mhm.
But also I'm like, I like stuck that in my journal because I'm like, Lord, let me remember to be
Mhm.
grateful.
Yeah.
Let me go back to a heart of gratitude because it does change your perspective,
Mhm.
even when you're looking at just the unknown, the insurmountable, the muck of just like everyday stuff when you're
Yeah.
dealing with people and dealing with
Mhm.
ministry.
Mhm.
But to not forget how good you've been, how
Yeah.
faithful you've been, and that you're a God who keeps his promises and you don't change. So
Yeah.
if you were so faithful back in this season, I know that I can trust you with my tomorrows.
That's right. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think too, with the next right step, there is, for me, a lot of what's surfacing is and realizing I don't have what it takes surfaces in me. Is this what I should be doing?
That's a good question.
Should
Yeah.
I be in ministry? Are you trying to like tell me something else? Are you trying to speak to me in some certain way? It's really hard. My flesh wants to just be like,
I'm done
I'm
with
out.
people. People suck.
I'm out. Yeah, right. I'm done. I'm out. And I had a friend recently ask me, she's like, why do you think God is asking you to stick in it? And that makes me think of like, why is my next right step to stay?
Yeah.
And I think a
Oof.
big piece of it for me, and I loved that question from her because I keep saying, God is asking me to stay. He's asking me to hunker down. He's asking me to stay in it. Even though my flesh is like, this is too much. But one of the key things that I thought of is that every time I make it through the hard, I and my family and the people around me are more sanctified. We're one more, and that I'm not saying that as a proud thing.
No,
I'm
I
saying
hear
that
it. I
as
hear
a
your
like,
heart. Yeah.
wow, God, like through this, you have allowed me to get closer and more like you. And it's amazing.
And once you have a truth revealed,
Yeah.
once you've gone through that refining fire, and once you have perspective out of the other side of that circumstance or deal,
Yeah.
you have just a different perspective. You can't unknow it.
No.
It's
Nope.
a truth that cannot be
That's right.
unknown.
That's
And
right.
so when it shows up in the future, you'll be like, I know.
Yeah.
Or when someone else is going through their stink or their hard stuff, you're
Yeah.
like, hey, listen,
Yeah.
He's a faithful God.
Yep.
Here I am as testimony to
Yep.
prove it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's funny because when we plot out the course for the themes, I do very much remember you talking about like what the next right steps look like. And when we were kind of like going through the list of like to the left, to the right,
Mhm.
forward, backward, and you specifically brought up, and sometimes you just stay. How you prophesying over your like current situation?
True.
I know,
It's
like
true.
that's like episode 1 of the season. We have to go
Right.
back. And
I
listen
totally
to it.
remember that now. Yeah. Sometimes the next right step is not an actual motion,
Mm.
forward, back, side, whatever. It's just sticking in it.
Ugh, yeah.
And I'm sticking in it.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think if we think about like the armor of God, he gives us those shoes of peace.
Mhm.
And they're shoes that
Yeah.
are like armored shoes. They're warrior shoes. They're cleated so you can
Mhm.
withstand.
Yeah.
And then you can not only just take the blows, but you can then progress forward.
Yeah.
And that's his peace. It's the message of peace that he
It is.
has asked us to bring. And so I think
Yeah.
in terms of what you're doing, like you're
Mhm.
in the thick of ministry, and it's
Yeah.
like, how much more would the enemy want you to just to like
Right.
pack
Right.
up and
Yeah.
take your ball and go home?
Right. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. There's, and there's nothing, and especially in ministry, there's nothing harder than carrying the weight
Yeah.
of the mess of life that I could easily just allow it to isolate me and to like,
Yeah.
and not reach out to people
Yeah.
and just like hunker in and stick in a really negative way. Satan, because ministry in general can be really isolating. We all probably have things in our life that can feel like they're really isolating.
Yeah.
Motherhood can be very isolating,
Yep.
even though a million moms out there.
Yeah.
A lot of moms, it's still your situation feels very
I can
isolating.
totally.
like,
It was a very lonely
Yeah.
season for me in the
Yeah.
early days of mothering. Yeah.
We probably all have things specifically for me, ministry. And there's just, it's in the grand scheme of things, a small handful of people that do it.
Yeah.
And so if I really wanted to, I could allow it to really isolate me and push me away, but I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. I know. I can't wait
Take
to
that.
see the fruit that will come from this season.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even in the harvest, we're here in fall in Ohio and stuff. The leaves are beginning to fall,
Mhm.
but stuff has to fall away for new life to begin. But before that comes out in the spring, we enter a dormant season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. The Lord is just so precious and so good to us. And
Mhm.
I know it's been a while since we've chatted or been on the podcast, but we're not going anywhere.
No.
We're still gonna work to get on and at least have our gab sessions and bring you kind of just like a little bit of our heart and what we're
Yeah.
going through, and just kind of give it to you real and raw, but then also bring other voices in like we've been doing. So it's been fun, and this is something that I love to do, and
Yeah.
we love having
For
you
sure.
guys. So
Mhm.
all right, any last thoughts?
I don't think.
Yeah, that's good. I can't wait to have our next conversation and see where we are.
I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
He's here. He's moving. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. Yep. We'll make it through.
All right. Well, thank you. And to all of our fellow warrior raisers, aim your arrows well. Thanks for listening to the Warrior Raiser podcast. If you liked today's episode, please like, subscribe, and share it. Or for more information, feel free to follow us on www.warriorraiser.com.